Alrighty, now that we have been practicing solving the two-step inequalities, let's have some more practice today, and I want to show you a couple challenging ones so that as you encounter them, you are equipped to embrace the challenge. All right, so open up your packet to page 9, and let's do a few of these together to kind of get you rolling. Okay, no place better to start than number 1. And again, I'm going to write these down below because I write so big. There's just no way I can show all my work here and squeeze it in. Okay, so first things first, find the variable. Your job is to isolate it. We're going to first of all counterattack that addition with a subtraction. That leaves me with n over 3 and divided by 3 greater than negative 2. I don't have to flip anything. All I did was subtract from each side. Okay. Next step, isolate n by undoing the division. So you multiply both sides by 3. Multiply this side by 3. Out of habit, I put parentheses around there just to make sure I'm doing things correctly. 3 times n divided by 3. The 3 and the divided by 3 divide to simplify to give you a 1. So you get n. This gives me negative 6. Ask yourself to flip or not to flip. Don't flip. We multiply both sides by a positive value, so your final solution looks like this. So we're going to put a circle at negative 6. Do not fill it in. You're going to shade to the right and fill in the arrow. Okay? Let's do another one. Ooh, number 2. Let's just go there since it's got some negativity in it, and we need to make sure that we're just being careful. All right, this one I won't rewrite the first step because I can just add 1 and that goes to 0. So I have p divided by 9 is less than or equal to a negative 1. Counteract this division with the inverse operation. Multiply. Multiply. 9 times p over 9 gives me a 1p because the 9 divided by 9 is a 1. I'm not going to write the 1 in front of there as the coefficient. Negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. To flip or not to flip? Multiplied by a positive. Keep it as less than or equal to. So even though it's not labeled, it is right here, negative 9. You are going to fill in the circle and shade. Less than means to the left. Make that arrow nice and large, probably neater than mine, because apparently I'm just a messy blobby writer. Okay. Number 3 is very similar. I'm not going to model that one with you, but we really need to look at 4. Alrighty. And in fact, as you look at this one, what I want you to do is notice this has a giant division or a fraction bar. And what that means is this whole 1 plus m, I need you to treat that algebraic expression as one big blob. So I'm going to add parentheses in there just to indicate, hey, you can't get at the 1 or the m separately. They're contained as one thing that's being divided. So in this case, what we need to do, and I'm going to rewrite this whole thing underneath. We're going to take that whole blob and multiply this side by 9. Okay? Think of this as just blob divided by 9. And on this side, you just had the 1. And we're going to multiply 9 times the right-hand side of 1. Here's what happens. 9 times a blob divided by 9 is just going to be this blob, 1 plus m. This, on the right-hand side, gives you a 9. Now, ask yourself to flip or not to flip. Because you multiplied by a positive value, we're going to leave that as greater than or equal to. So in other words, don't flip. Now, what we have to do to counterattack is we're going to undo the adding with a subtraction of 1 on each side of this inequality right here. That goes to 0. 9 minus 1 becomes 8. Don't ever flip your inequality when you're just adding or subtracting. And there's your final answer. Put your circle at 8 and color it in because we have the equals part. It is greater than. Fill in the arrow, and there you go. Sweet. Let's see. Let's look at number 5, simply because we've got a whole lot of negative numbers going on there. So add 2, add 2. That goes to 0. I have negative 2 times r. My right-hand side becomes positive 6. To isolate my variable r, I must divide both sides by negative 2. Any number divided by itself is 1, except 0. So that's a 1r. Over here, I get negative 3. Ask yourself, flip or not to flip? This one we need to invert or flip that inequality symbol because we divided by a negative. Graph it. A solid circle, greater than means we're going to the right. Greater means right. There we go. Keep in mind I say that, but I hope you understand that you always have to have the variable on the left in order to match up the symbol to the arrowhead on your number line. All right, do the rest of this page. I want you to jump to page 10, and let's do one more of these giant fraction, or one of these that has an algebraic expression up there. Let's do number 10. So think of this as being locked or trapped in parentheses. And our first option here now is not, I can't deal with the adding of 3 because it's not really 3, it's really 3 over 2, and this is really n over 2. So instead, let's just counteract this whole mess, and what we're going to do is multiply both sides by 2. So go times 2 times 2. 2 times this blob divided by 2 is just the blob. Those simplify to be a 1. I'm going to write n plus 3, and I no longer need the parentheses. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. There is no flipping because I multiplied by a positive. Now subtract 3 from each side. N is greater than negative 7. Okie dokie. Let's put our circle here, leave it open because I do not have the equal sign included in this inequality. Shade to the right. Sweet. All right. Jump ahead and look at page 11, if you would here. What I did is I just matched up these ones here as I went along and then fill in the puzzle or the riddle down below. Here you've got nice room to work, so by all means make sure you show your work here. Show both steps and show it on both sides so that I see that you get n is less than 3. Now you have to find the graph over here, and so as you start looking through the answers here, I see that this one, it's open circle at 3 to the left, is this I, so put a capital letter I here and circle it. Otherwise it's going to get too convoluted to try and draw matching and everything there. So solve it, find the letter, and then go ahead down below where you see that particular number of the problem, put the corresponding letter in its spot. Alrighty, you've got the rest of the time to work, so by all means get at it. And as always, good luck and may the force be with you.